This is The Thing, a horror masterclass in practical effects, isolationist settings, and endings that will keep you guessing long after the credits roll. Originally released in 1982, the film has been scaring and grossing out audiences for decades and is often considered to be one of the greatest horror movies of all time. And this is Marie. She's never seen The Thing. We're going to have her watch it cold and knowing as little as possible about the film. We'll interview her after to get her unbiased take on the movie. We are Fear fans, and this is the Rookie Horror Picture Show. Marie, thanks for joining us. We're going to ask you a couple questions, and we'll get started now.
Yeah.
Marie, how do you feel about horror movies?
I don't feel any type of way about them because I don't really watch them, or I try not to watch them because the trailers do enough for me to be scared. And when I get scared, I don't sleep well at night. I feel like ghosts enter my living space, so I try to avoid them at all costs.
All right.
Good job coming here. All right. So,
thanks
sorry.
for showing up.
Yeah.
We appreciate it a lot.
Yeah.
What horror movies have you seen?
Jaws. I've seen Get Out. Or I watched a commentary of Get Out on YouTube, and then I was like, oh, this is fine. So I opened up my blinds and then I watched it on mute, and it was really great, which is why I want to try to watch horror films, because I feel like since I have been avoiding them, I've missed a lot of really great films. What else have I watched? So I watched The Shining with the sound on, and that one was really great. I really liked that it was a bit slower. It wasn't like horror, like someone's slashing you or whatever. I do remember watching Scream also when I was younger. That one was a little bit traumatizing. But The Shining was also really good. It had good music. I felt like the story was good, so I enjoyed it. It was scary, but it was good. It was good. So I like it.
What was the most recent horror film that you watched?
The most recent horror film was actually The Shining, which was maybe a month or two ago. But I did watch a TV show, The Ratchet. It doesn't classify as horror, but I think it was. It was very uncomfortable to watch. But that was, I felt like that was the most horrible one that I've seen.
What scares you?
Big dogs. Any dog that barks, really. But I love dogs, but I'm scared of them. Oh my god, I hate insects, spiders, any roaches. What else? I mean, creepy people at night. I'm comfortable walking home by myself at night, but if I see someone walking a little creepy, I will go to the other side of the street. But I'll do that with dogs too. So, that's insects also. They're horrible. Mm-hmm.
All right, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is going to be a great film.
Oh.
That's the only thing I'll say. Do you believe in aliens? And do you think that human beings have ever made contact with aliens?
Yes, I believe in aliens. I feel like has to be some type of life form out in the giant universe. I'm not sure if they have. I feel like have they made contact with us? I feel like we do not have the technology yet or whatever to be able to reach them or communicate, and I don't blame them for not contacting us. But I feel like they're out there. I hope. I would really like to meet them, but in my head they're more humanoid. They're not like that movie The Host, where they're things that you put in the back of your neck or whatever, and then they contact it. That was cute, but I feel like they're more shaped like humans, and I would love to meet them if they're friendly.
Have you ever been to a remote location, and if so, how did you feel?
Yeah, a couple of times, but it was mostly when I was filming something, um, and it was fun. I mean, like if I'm there with people, it's great. But so up north in Sweden, my family has like this or like a house where we go usually during the winters for skiing and stuff. But it's pretty remote. Like the next door, like the neighbors are they're way up there. So it's like in the middle of the forest in the winter. It's like nice and beautiful with the snow, but it's very quiet. And if I'm by myself, it's a little scary. Like you hear like wind and stuff, so like it makes me uncomfortable. But if I'm with people, it's really nice and cozy.
How would you go about identifying an imposter?
I don't know. Let me think. I don't know. I think I'll try to challenge them, like push them to see how far their dishonesty goes, or how far they can take like a lie or something. But I don't know exactly how. It would depend on the situation. And then, I mean, eventually, I feel like I would get tired and I would just confront them. But I would for sure like push them first. Yeah.
What if your life was potentially on the line?
I feel like then I would either, if my life was on the line. Okay, so I would have to get help. If I can't get help, I would fight. Like I feel like I'm a little fighter. Like I would fight, but I would try to get help if I can. Yeah. But if I have to, I mean, I'll fight someone to save my own life. Yeah.
What do you know about the movie called The Thing?
I don't know anything except that it is like popular. Like I have a lot of people who are like, "Oh, you should watch The Thing," and I have absolutely no idea what it's about. But it does not sound good because it's like The Thing.
Well, those people were very smart, and that's what we're going to be watching today.
Okay.
You can let them know later. Hey, it's checked off the list.
Yeah, okay. I'm like really nervous because I don't know. Like this is like one of those. I have no idea what it's about.
Okay.
But it sounds very scary. Maybe that's why I haven't like watched the trailer or anything. But okay. What are you watching?
What's that behind you?
No. No. I won't.
We ask that question every time. that wasn't you could see the question.
All right, Marie, you just finished watching The Thing.
Yes.
We're going to ask you a couple questions about your thoughts.
What did you think of the movie?
I thought it was great. Like I really thought it was fantastic. Apart from the horror side of things, I think that like the story in itself was really interesting. I was like captivated and like into it, even before the whole. Even after when you took away the dog and the Norwegians hunting them, I was still like, oh, what's this little like man camp here where they're out in like Antarctica digging or drilling for oil. I wasn't getting that part, but then there was kind of like, oh, the Norwegians and us. I'm like, okay, what's happening? I thought maybe this is going to be like a country thing, and they just killed that man. Also, the Norwegian got very quickly, but I mean he was shooting at them, so I get it. But the story was so good, so I actually loved it. But it was a little scary. I'm gonna put it with the scary. I wouldn't say like this is easy, like this is a smiley thing. You will be scared if you watch it.
Horror films are oftentimes panned for having weak plots, and sometimes rightfully so. Movies like The Happening and The Thaw add some weight to this argument.
Agreed. Because of stilted dialogue, dumb premises, hollow, uninteresting characters, sometimes horror films wind up as unintentional comedies. Or in some cases are just dumb beyond belief and kind of poor representatives of the genre.
However, there are plenty of examples of horror films that are expertly crafted, The Thing being an example of this. A good horror movie is a solid plot with fear woven in, not a bunch of scares with a plot dropped on top. What did you like most about the movie?
I mean, I think I like the fact that I didn't know who had been infected by the thing. Like, I was always guessing. I was like, oh, it's this person. But I was like, no, wait, they're acting a certain type of, I feel like they're faking it. And then, like, it's that person. I'm like, no, wait, it's going to go back to that person. And, like, I didn't know. And even in the end, like, we didn't really know who was infected. And, yeah, I think I love that because I love guessing when it comes to stuff like this. But I couldn't do that throughout the entire film. And that was really good.
Curiosity is a powerful motivator. It can lead us into even scary situations, but we'll keep going if we think we can find the answer.
One of the most enduring legacies of The Thing is the lingering uncertainty of not only knowing who was assimilated by the monster, but when. There's been plenty of research that's put forth evidence that vilifies some characters but vindicates others.
The whodunit plot device of The Thing works great because it keeps the audience focused on finding the next clue. This tactic is used in other sorts of genres to the same effect.
What did you dislike about the movie?
I mean, I don't like dogs that much anymore. I do not like insects any less. And I mean, it's not that I dislike it. I mean, I can appreciate the effect of like the jump scare, but I hate it. So I think that's what I dislike. But it was like, it's a good thing to have in a horror film. I am just a scaredy cat, and I hate when it happens. So I think that's what I dislike the most. Because like, it was a really good film. Like, it's really great, but it was scary.
It's a total accident that the three things that Marie said she was scared of the most are also in The Thing. Large dogs, creepy insect imagery, and sneaky figures in the night. It's almost as if the film was tailor-made just to scare Marie, which was perfect for us.
It's doubtful that the Thing taking insect-like form was any sort of accident. The jointed legs and the skittering of the Thing across the floor reminds us all of the last time a roach crossed our paths. A lot of people are grossed out and scared of insects, so this is a great way for a horror movie to send extra shivers down the spine of the viewers. What surprised you most about the movie?
Actually, the fact that that it had those jump scares that did like affect me, because I was like, when I was a little bit older, I was like, oh, this is like, I'm gonna be able to see, and like, I'm not gonna be that scared watching this, but but I was, and as for like the special effects, I was like, they were pretty decent. Like, I did not see, like, there were some parts where I'm like, okay, I'm trying to see if there's like, where you can see that it's like makeup or like edit and stuff, and I'm like, it's pretty good. Like, I was disgusted on several occasions. So I think that really surprised me, and the fact that like, yeah, I feel like the fact that the story never like, you never, even if you understood like one part, like I guess that like the dog was the thing right from the beginning when it was running, because I was thinking like, why would you go to these lengths to like shoot a dog unless it's like the thing? But even though I was suspecting it was the dog, I was like, okay, but it's acting weird. But what about the Norwegians in that big ice tub? I never knew what was like going on in the story. Even when I guessed something, it was like, even though it was right, I wasn't 100% right. So that was very interesting.
We love how Marie appreciated the practical effects of The Thing. The horror of the film largely comes from the fact that the monster has no true form. It assimilates its victims and then morphs into ever-changing variations. You never know if or when a new horror will evolve out of it. So the need for realistic and memorable practical effects with Rob Bottin at the helm was essential in creating the final result.
Practical effects often lose out to CGI in modern movies, even in 2011's prequel to The Thing entitled The Thing. But there are still some modern movies that use practical effects, like 2013's Evil Dead reboot. And as Marie clearly stated, these practical effects still hold up.
What do you think some of the themes of the movie might be, if any?
I mean, maybe it's because it's 2020, but when the doctor, Blair, or the whoever was working on the cells, I mean, obviously it's 2020. I was thinking he said, oh, if this one thing like affects or gets out to the general public, it's gonna affect the whole world within 27,000 hours. I was like, okay, COVID. And I was like, that was kind of interesting. And then it also made me think like, okay, if this thing gets out, I feel bad for the camp, but also they all kind of have to die. And it's kind of that thing with the sacrifice, like what length do you go through, like to save the earth basically, or the rest of the human population, because they have to kind of like, at the time, and I'm still like, I'm not sure like when was he infected or whatever. I was just like, I actually thought when he took the gun that he was gonna go and shoot everybody and just like take that step. But first he was just, I'm gonna ruin everything, and I was like, oh, okay, you're going a long way around. I thought you were just gonna go and shoot up everybody and then yourself. But then the movie would have ended very quickly. But I think it's a lot to do with that, like how, or what you would do to either protect yourself or the earth like as a whole, because then it kind of became humans versus aliens, and how far, like how much can we fight and what can we do to fight to protect earth. Or for them, I mean, they're up in Antarctica, so it's just them, but they have, it's almost like their own little like population, their own little country, and to protect themselves, like how do they stop the thing from killing them or taking them over. And I don't know if they succeeded, but they tried. A little bit with the idea also, I mean, sort of related to that, with the whole thing that the cell could like take up, like imitate and copy anything. I mean, it's the 80s. I don't know exactly where they were, like technology-wise with like science and stuff. But that idea is also so interesting to like repopulate and stuff, or like a cell organism that can just absorb and completely imitate something else. What that could lead to, because that could be a good thing in a way. For example, if we could have something that could imitate, say, a new Earth or whatever, since this one's gonna die eventually. Like it could be used for good, but it could also be used for bad things.
Though it came out in 1982, The Thing touched on a timeless fear that is at the forefront of everyone's minds today.
And even then, at the time the film was released, the AIDS crisis was occurring. And some reviewers have noted that the suspicion of the characters in the film, culminating with the famous blood sequence, is a commentary on the fear of infection.
The Thing also pushes us to ask ourselves what sort of sacrifices we'd make for the sake of humanity. And with global climate change and the widening gap between the rich and the poor, the prospects don't look good.
At the end of the movie, do you think that Childs was the Thing or that he was still human?
Like, I can't know. If I had to guess, gun to my head, I would say yes. Just because I felt like his excuse when they were like, oh, where were he's like, oh, I thought I saw him, or like I didn't see him, and so I just like walked out. I was like, that like you left your post, like he couldn't find you, like where were you? And I felt like he didn't give a good like human enough answer in that situation, because they both know that they're like, we're here, we can't trust what the other person's saying, and then normally like if it's just the two of you and you know that either I kill you or you kill me, or I need to prove to you that I am me or I'm a human, I would go through greater lengths to like explain why I wasn't, or where I was supposed to be. But at the same time, like maybe he was just exhausted, and like it was the two of them left. They kind of knew that they were probably gonna die there, so maybe he just didn't care what I was saying. But like I think that since they shared the bottle, and the thing can like spread only like very easily. I'm like, since they share the bottle, if he is, both of them are infected. Like they're gonna be the thing, and then the fire's eventually gonna die out, and then it's gonna be cold and gonna be frozen in like the thing wanted until the next rescue team comes in, and then they're gonna take over the next team. So I don't know.
In terms of its symbolic value, it's possible that the bottle shared between Macready and Childs is the most famous in all of cinema. Depending on what you think is inside the bottle, it's either a symbol of mutual trust or the terrifying proof that one of them is the monster. The cliffhanger-style ending of the film is arguably a perfect conclusion to a film that doesn't give us hopes and solutions, but instead infects us with hints and suspicions. It always makes us question the thing.
What did you think of the setting?
Perfect for a horror film. Yeah, I think again, like what I mentioned with the whole thing, that it's closed off from the rest of the world. I feel like it would have been a completely different movie if they were like Washington D.C. Or like even just a little town like in like continental U.S. or in, like on the continent and not frozen, because it kind of brings it, like, it makes it a little bit more scary. One, because most people on Earth, like, this could be happening right now. I'm not going to go to Antarctica. I don't have any plans. Most people aren't going to go. We don't know if it's happening, like, this very second. Which makes it a little bit more, like, believable. Because, of course, if it would have happened, like, in mainland USA or whatever, first of all, it probably would have spread much faster. And then second of all, like, it would have, I feel like the effects would have been bigger, but they were able to like contain it as well as they could in there, and then it also made it a little bit like I feel like harder for the guys on the camp, because they didn't have anything outside of those like little barracks where they lived, and there was nothing else for them. It was just, ice and snow. They couldn't like run away to another town or hide somewhere else. They only had the few houses that they had, and they knew that if the monster was inside, they couldn't go outside, so they were kind of stuck where they were.
The setting of a horror film is crucial in introducing the characters, establishing the mood, and creating the stage for conflict. In great horror films, the setting is never chosen at random. So the remote, color-starved, frozen wasteland in The Thing, which is also well represented in AMC's The Terror, is, as Marie points out, perfect. And if not for any horror film, then it definitely is for this one. It's hard to imagine this film in an urban setting. Because the characters are isolated with zero chance of help, it makes the need to destroy the thing all the more necessary.
What did you think of the directing?
I think it was like great. Again, like for the points that I mentioned, that just worked. Both with the story, where you kept us guessing. I think I really enjoyed all the moments where they chose to like play with both sound, and also with like the lighting. Usually or nowadays when we see like blue and red or pink, it's kind of like pretty and like nice. But it's since they're so contrasting, like it's eye-catching. And in this movie, like, of course it's mostly white during the day because of the snow, but then at night when it was like blue, and then they had the flares, which would burn like bright red, and it would bring like, it's almost like every time something like when you saw those two colors, you'd know that like, okay, something big is happening, or something big is about to happen. And the story kind of like took a little turn from there to whatever was coming next. So I love that there were some like little hints almost that would like push us further onto the story. But it was scary. Thinking about some part, it was so scary. Oh.
The blue and the red contrasting color schemes in the night scenes in the movie may represent the vast difference between humanity and the aliens. And when the two colors bleed together into purple, it may represent the combination of the two into the imposter that both the characters and us viewers are hunting for.
I think we already know the answer to this. Did it scare you?
Let me just a little bit. What? Oh. Not too much. No, it was. Where do I put this on the scale? So, I did watch The Shining. I think this one was scarier than The Shining for me. I can't say, like, I feel like the effect that this will have on me on my own personal scale is that one, I will continue to cross the street when I see dogs that are too big. I will never have a husky. That dream is dead. I feel like at least for a couple of weeks, I'm gonna look at animals a little differently. Just I'll take a second look, cause the dog, like when it went into the little pound with the other dogs, I feel like that was so uncomfortable. Cause you see every other dog, they're kind of laying down resting, and then that one just slowly walks in, and then like it lays down creepily, and you can tell that the other dogs and they're not humans, but we can tell like even they're acting or whatever. They were uncomfortable with it. So from now on, I'm gonna be a little bit uncomfortable by dogs. I would put it on the scary scale, like 8.5 for me.
It was really cool to see that Marie was terrified of the film, yet enjoyed it as well. It shows us that being scared of a movie and enjoying it aren't mutually exclusive.
When we watch a horror film, you could say that we want to be scared. In French, there is a word frisson, which means to shudder or to experience a thrill. And it's that kind of adrenaline rush that we look forward to experiencing. I suppose it's not altogether different than, say, base jumping or riding a roller coaster. A certain amount of fear and anxiety is certainly a part of the horror viewing experience.
Which part did you think was the scariest?
Almost every time when it was quiet. And then the monster showed up, I was already scared. Even if I felt like, okay, I know it's gonna come, I could feel it. The one where he was trying to save his life, where the doctor was on top of him, like, and then the stomach, oh my god, the stomach opened up, and I don't know what happened after that, because I had to turn away. It was so disgusting. Like, I was with him, like, 1, 2, 3, and then
One of the most memorable scenes in the movie tops the list of Marie's scariest moments in the film, and rightly so.
We think it's one of the most scariest, and if not, then certainly one of the most memorable scenes in almost any horror movie. For many people, this scene, comparable kind of to the chest-bursting scene from Alien, is what they conjure up when they think of The Thing.
The scene is well lit, most of the characters are there, and the thing emerges from what we think is either a dead or a dying man. So we don't expect the thing to pop out here, yet it does, adding that much more shock to the moment.
Do you have any unanswered questions about the movie?
okay, yeah. I mean, first of all, I don't know when any single one of them got infected. I have no idea. I'm surprised that Clark, was it, who we thought was infected like in the beginning, because the dog like went to his room and he was sitting there. I'm surprised that he wasn't. I wonder why, because they said that he needed to be like alone with them, and I felt like, I don't know if anyone else was in the room because we only saw the shadow, but I felt like that could have been a moment. And why wasn't he? And also McCreary. Was there like 2 of him? So first McCreary walked into this, not the doctor, but walked into his lab when it was at night, right? And he was like, oh, okay, you do this and I'm gonna go, whatever. And then he left him, and then they had this really cool transition where like his lights turned down and then it became like blue light, and then we saw him walking, and then he walked outside and he saw McCreary's like clothes, and they were ripped up. But before that, there was someone like walking behind him, which was the Thing, I'm assuming. But was that the McCreary thing? Because they found his clothes. I don't know if I missed that. Because I felt like McCreary was never the Thing. The Thing just took his clothes and ripped them up. But which one of the people who were the Thing took McCreary's clothes and ripped them up and made it look like him?
The Thing is full of unanswered questions and curiosities that entice the viewers to discuss them and try to fill in the gaps, even now, nearly 40 years later.
Conclusions provide a form of comfort and of closure. Part of the terror of The Thing is the fact that it doesn't end with settling and satisfactory conclusions. And part of the fun of The Thing is that we as an audience get to try to pick apart the film to piece it together and try to make sense of it.
Does viewing The Thing make you more open to watching horror films?
Definitely. Like, I am traumatized, as you can see. But again, like, I think the movie was just so good. Like, it was so good, it was worth the trauma that's gonna come to me tonight. Like, it was worth it. I think this movie was so good. Like, yeah, like I said, like the directing, the acting, the story, the lighting, the score, everything, like it worked so well, and the story was captivating, that I just like, I loved it. Will I see it again? I think so. Maybe I'm gonna pause until like after winter, so that it can be summer. But yes, but yeah, definitely, I do. Films like this, yes, horror films like this.
How does it feel to be a Fear fan?
It feels great. I mean, like, I think it was just a really, really good film. Like, all of my other friends who also hate horror films, like, I might tell them to, like,
Yeah, you
this
can watch
one
this.
a shot. Like, try this one. It was actually really good.
Thank you very much for joining us, Marie. We had an excellent time, and we hope to have you back again in the future.
Our question this week is, which do you prefer in your horror movies? Practical effects, like in The Thing, or CGI effects? Let us know down below in the comments, and while you're down there, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. We are Fear fans. Thank you for watching.